Every city has those landmarks that feel like part of its identity, the places where families gather, where history is made, and where unforgettable memories are created. For Winnipeg, one of those landmarks was the Winnipeg Arena. For nearly half a century, it stood as the beating heart of the city's sports and entertainment scene. It was where the Winnipeg Jets were born, where world-class concerts shook the rafters, and where generations of fans cheered, cried, and celebrated together. But then, almost suddenly, it was gone. The arena was shut down, left empty, and eventually torn down. So what really happened? Why did this Winnipeg landmark disappear? And what was the shocking reason behind its closure? The Winnipeg Arena first opened its doors in 1955. At the time, it was one of the most modern arenas in Canada, seating more than 9,000 people, a massive number for the prairies in the mid-20th century. It quickly became a symbol of pride. For Winnipeggers, this wasn't just a building. It was a place where the community came alive. The arena hosted everything: hockey games, curling championships, wrestling events, concerts, political rallies. If it mattered in Winnipeg, chances are it happened at the arena. The most iconic moment came in 1972, when Team Canada played the Soviet Union in the Summit Series. Winnipeg was one of only 2 Canadian cities to host a game, and the arena was electric. Later, when the Winnipeg Jets joined the NHL in 1979, the arena became their home. Night after night, thousands of fans packed into the stands to watch the Jets take on the biggest names in hockey. For many, those games were more than sports. They were a point of pride, a way of saying Winnipeg belonged on the national stage. But even in the glory years, cracks were forming. The Winnipeg Arena had been built quickly and cheaply in the 1950s, and by the 1980s and 1990s, it was showing its age. Fans complained about the steep seating, the outdated concessions, and the lack of luxury amenities that modern arenas offered. Visiting players often said the dressing rooms were some of the worst in the NHL. And perhaps most famously, the arena had poor sight lines in many sections, leaving fans frustrated. For ownership and city officials, the problem wasn't just comfort, it was money. By the 1990s, professional sports were becoming big business, and arenas were expected to generate revenue through corporate boxes, luxury seating, and modern concessions. The Winnipeg Arena didn't have any of that. As the Jets struggled financially, critics pointed to the old arena as one of the biggest reasons the team couldn't keep up with other NHL franchises. By the late 1990s, the writing was on the wall. If Winnipeg wanted to keep up with other cities, it needed a new arena. In 1996, the Jets left town for Phoenix, and the arena lost its main tenant. For a while, it limped along, hosting the Manitoba Moose, concerts, and events. But without the Jets and without the ability to generate the kind of revenue modern arenas demanded, the Winnipeg Arena was no longer sustainable. The shocking reason it shut down wasn't just age or neglect, it was economics. The arrival of the Canada Life Centre in 2004 sealed its fate. The downtown arena was smaller in terms of seats, but it was state-of-the-art. It had all the modern amenities the old arena lacked, plus the political backing to shift Winnipeg's entertainment core back into the heart of the city. Concert promoters, sports teams, and event organizers all moved their business downtown. Overnight, the Winnipeg Arena was obsolete. The arena closed its doors in 2004 after nearly 50 years of history. For many, it was heartbreaking. Generations of memories were tied to the old building, from watching the Jets to attending their first concert. People had grown up inside those walls, and saying goodbye wasn't easy. But nostalgia wasn't enough to save it. By 2006, demolition crews moved in. Piece by piece, the Winnipeg Arena was torn down, leaving behind only memories and the realization that a major chapter of the city's story had ended. Today, the site of the old Winnipeg Arena is home to the Polo Park Red River Exhibition Center and retail development. If you drive by, it's hard to imagine that this was once the loudest, liveliest building in Winnipeg. But for those who were there, the memories remain. The whiteout playoff games, the concerts, the curling championships, they live on in the stories Winnipeggers still tell. In a way, the shocking reason the arena was shut down says a lot about how cities change. Buildings that once defined us eventually get left behind, not because people stop loving them, but because the economics no longer make sense. The Winnipeg Arena wasn't destroyed by fire, flood, or neglect. It was shut down because it couldn't keep up with the demands of modern sports and entertainment. And in today's world, that's a reminder of how quickly landmarks can disappear.